Hi guys, this is Sadak from Webdom.com, and in this video, we'll show you how to flash the latest Turbo UI on your Galaxy S20 FE. So the ROM comes inbuilt with quite a lot of features. You could go through all these feature list on my guide. I will link the guide in the video description as well. And as you could see and have a look at, it has some of the maximum number of UI and UX tweaks and audio video enhancement, performance enhancement. Apart from that, a few inbuilt Magis modules as well, and it works across all these three variants of the phone, which is the Snapdragon variant of 4G and 5G. You may verify the variant by going to the settings about phone section, and over there have a look at the model number, and please verify that it matches either of the three model number. If that's well and good, then let's get started with the flashing process. Please take a backup of all the data on your phone, and then let's get started. First and foremost, you may get hold of the ROM file from this link. As of now, I'm using the Snapdragon 5G variant, so this is the ROM file which I am using. So get hold of the ROM which correspond to your device. Once that is done, you will now have to unlock the bootloader on your phone. Do note that unlocking will wipe off all the data, and it will make the warranty null and void as well. Apart from that, it will also trip the knocks. The status of knocks will go from 0x0 to 0x1, and you will not be able to revert it because it's an hardware component which is embedded in the motherboard. So once you have unlocked the bootloader, then all the caveats and drawbacks that come with an unlocked bootloader will stay there even if you relock the bootloader. So please keep this point in mind, and if that's well and good, then you could refer to my video and the guide to unlock the bootloader. In short, you just have to boot your phone to download mode and then long press the volume up key to unlock the bootloader. Once that is done, you will have to go online over to Wi-Fi, then go to the developer option and wait for a few seconds until you see the OEM unlock option gray out. Once that is done, the bootloader has been unlocked successfully. So make sure to re-enable USB debugging once again, and then you may move ahead with the next step. Now we will have to install the DWRP recovery onto our phone. So let's get this job done as well. I've already made a separate video on the same, but I'll still show you how to install the recovery. For our phone, I'll first show you how to flash it using the FB disabler, and usually we use the multi disabler, but for our phone we will use the FB disabler method. I have made a video on that, but still let me show you once again. So first off, we have to unlock the bootloader, which we have done already. Next up, you will have to get hold of the recovery file and the VBMeta patch file. Regarding the recovery, is available on the official website. So go to their official website, choose a server link such as the America, and from here make sure to download the image.tar file, a file which has a .tar at the end. So once you have got the recovery file, you will also have to download the VBMeta patch file which correspond to your phone. As of now, I'm using the Snapdragon 5G variant, so it will be G781b.tar. So make sure you have both the files onto your PC. Let me verify it. Just give me a second. So this is the VBMeta patch and this is the recovery file. Once you have got both the files, you will now have to download Odin. This is required to flash the DWRP recovery onto your phone. So get it from here and extract them onto your PC. So this is the Odin tool. Extract it, and upon extraction you will get the following 4 files. Once that is done, you will now have to boot your phone to the download mode. So for that, there are quite a few approaches that you could take, including the hardware key combination, but as of now I will use the ADB commands because it is universally accepted across all the Samsung phone. So first off, get hold of the Android SDK platform tools. This is the official ADB binary given by Google and is required for ADB command. So get it from my guide and extract them onto your PC. You could extract them anywhere you want. In my case, I've done the extraction in C drive, and these are the files of platform tools. Once you have done the extraction, you will now have to enable USB debugging on your phone. So for that, go to the settings menu, then go to about phone and tap on software information, and from there tap on build number 7 times. You will get a prompt that developer mode has been enabled. So now go back, and you should now see developer option. So go there and enable the toggle next to USB debugging. You will get a prompt on your phone, tap on OK, and with this, debugging is now enabled. You might get an RSC key prompt, checkmark always allow if this is your own PC, and then tap on allow, and with this we have enabled debugging. Let's verify the same. So go to platform tool folder address bar, type in cmd and hit enter. This will launch command prompt inside platform tools. Now type in ADB devices and make sure that you're getting an ID. If you're not getting any ID, then unplug and replug your phone from the PC. Disable and re-enable USB debugging. Tap on revoke USB debugging. Use the official USB cable that came with your phone and use the USB 2.0 port on your PC. So carry out these USB tweaks and make sure that you're getting an ID. Once you're getting this ID, your next course of action is to type in the command adb reboot download, and your phone will now reboot into the download mode, and it will take just a few seconds for that to happen. And once it's in the download mode, we could now proceed ahead and flash the TWRP recovery onto your phone. So as you could see, our phone is now in the download mode. So now let's flash the recovery. So first off, launch Odin via the exe file. You might get a warning, click on OK. And now go to the first off, have a look at the log is showing as added. Likewise, your phone should be shown under the COM section as well. For example, in my case, it's the COM8. So both of these signify that Odin is able to identify the phone in download mode. So first off, go to option and uncheck auto reboot. This is extremely important. Once you uncheck auto reboot, now go to AP and load the twrp.tar file, which is this one. Then go to user data and load the vbmeta patch.tar file and click on open. Once that is done, hit the start button and the flashing will now start and will take only a few seconds. So let's just wait, and as you could see, the flashing is now complete. And now you have to boot your phone to the recovery mode directly. So for that, first and foremost, you will have to press and hold the power and the volume down key for around 7 to 8 seconds. Then your phone will try to undergo a restart. But while it's undergoing a restart, it will first get powered off. So as soon as it is powered off, you will have to press and hold the power and the volume up key. So again, I am repeating, first off, press and hold the power and volume down key. And as soon as it is trying to undergo a restart, press and hold the power and the volume up keys. So let me show you how that could be done. So let me first press and hold the power and the volume down keys. And let's wait for a phone to get powered off, which should take around 6 to 7 seconds. And as soon as that happens, press and hold the power and the volume up keys and keep on pressing and holding both this key for around 5 to 6 seconds. And then you may let go of both these keys and your phone should now reboot into the TWRP recovery. This will only happen if you have pressed the keys correctly. If there was a slight issue in the time delay, then your phone will either reboot to the stock recovery or to the OS, and then you will have to flash the recovery once again. So as you could see, we are now inside the recovery mode. So the flashing is now successful. So once the flashing is done, we are done with just half the process. We will now have to carry out the FB disabler as well. So for that, go to wipe. Before that, do note that it will wipe off all the data from your phone. So make sure you have taken a backup beforehand. So go to wipe, advanced wipe, check mark, key data, key refugee, metadata and data. These are the 4 partitions. Check mark them and swipe to wipe. Once the partition have been wiped off, go back, again go back, again go back, go to reboot and select recovery, and your phone will now reboot into the TWRP recovery. And with this, we have successfully flashed the recovery onto our phone. Once the recovery has been flashed, we could now proceed ahead with the ROM flashing steps. So let's just wait for a few more seconds, and during this, the rebooting to the recovery might take up a few more seconds. That is completely normal. So let's wait for a few additional seconds and our phone should then reboot to the TWRP recovery. And now once we are in the recovery, we could now resume with the ROM flashing process. So now your first course of action is to do a format data. So go to wipe, format data, type in yes and hit enter. This will remove all the data from your phone. Once that is done, you will now have to restart your phone to the recovery. Again, this is extremely important. So go to back, again back, reboot and recovery. This will remount the data partition and we could then proceed ahead and flash the ROM file then. So let's just wait for a phone to reboot to the recovery, and then we will transfer the ROM file onto our phone and then subsequently flash it as well. So give it around 4 to 5 seconds and your phone should now reboot to the TWRP recovery once again. And in the meantime, what you have to do is transfer the ROM file onto your phone as well. So our phone has now booted to the recovery, and as you could see, it's currently decrypted. So there is no encryption issue because we have done a format data. That is why you will not face any encryption issue. So you may now directly transfer the ROM file onto your phone. This is the Turbo UI ROM file. So copy it from here and then transfer it onto your phone, internal storage, paste it here, and it could take up to around 4 to 5 minutes for the transfer to complete. Do note that even now, if your phone is not being shown here on your PC, then you could either use a USB OTG device, but if you don't have a USB OTG, then you may also use the ADB push command to get this job done. But please do not use ADB sideload. ADB sideload should only be used with an AOSP recovery, such as Lineage OS recovery, Evolution X recovery and such. But please don't use the ADB sideload method with the TWRP or Orange Fox recovery. And regarding the ADB push method, you will first off have to transfer the file inside the platform tools and then use the ADB push file name, which is, as you could see, such as rom.zip space / and the location on your phone. The SD card stands for internal storage of your phone. So if you type in this command, then the file will be transferred onto your phone internal storage. So you may also use the ADB push command to get this job done, or you may easily use the mount method. As of now, I'm using the USB mount method. Anyways, let's wait for 6 minutes for the ROM to be transferred. So guys, the ROM file has now been transferred onto our phone. So we could now proceed ahead and flash the ROM. So simply go to the install section, choose the ROM zip file and do a right up to flash it. The flashing will now start and it could take up to around 6 to 8 minutes. So let's just wait for the flashing to complete. So guys, as soon as the ROM has been flashed, it will ask you if you want to install a Magisk. If you don't want, then press the volume down key. Otherwise, press the volume up key. And now it will ask you to install a kernel. As of now, I'm going with the stock kernel. So let me press the volume down keys 4 times. So I'll skip the first, second, third and fourth kernel and install the 5th kernel. It will ask you to install GPU drivers, so I don't want it, so I'm using the volume down keys. So guys, as you could see, currently we are getting an error message. That is completely normal and nothing to worry about. The error message is just because our system is currently logged, is currently read only, and to make any changes such as installing Magisk, flashing a custom kernel or installing a different GPU drivers is asking for an unlocked system, or to be more specific, is asking for a RW or read writable system, which is currently not the case. So you could boot to the OS, make the system RW. I made a separate video on the same, and once the system is RW, you could then flash and install the desired custom kernel of your choice. So as of now, that is not the case. So not an issue. Simply type on wipe Dalvik cache. So let's simply wipe the cache and Dalvik and tap on reboot system, and your phone should now reboot to the newly flashed OS. And let's just wait for a boot animation to appear, which will signify that the flashing has been done successfully. Moreover, do keep in mind that the first boot up might take up some additional time. That is completely normal and nothing to worry about. From the subsequent time, that will not be the case. So let's wait for a few more seconds and then verify for if the boot animation comes up or not. So it could take up to around 15 to 20 seconds for the first time delay, but that should not be the case from the subsequent time. And our phone should now boot to the OS, and as you could see, it's the Turbo UI boot logo and the boot animation, so which confirms that the flashing has been done successfully. And we are now inside the UI, and it could take up to around 30 seconds more. So let's wait for the time frame. So guys, the phone has booted to the OS. This took quite a long time, around around a couple of minutes, but that's completely normal. In some cases that might be the case. So as of now, I'm skipping the initial setup process and I will take you to the OS directly. Let me simply accept the terms and condition. If you want, you may connect your phone to the OS and restore the data right away, or you may do the restore later on as well. That's completely your choice and up to you. So let's just wait and skip all of this stuff, and let me agree to terms and condition. And this is the theme for our ROM. So guys, we are now inside the OS. So let's check out the ROM. It has just one pre-installed bloatware app, which is the S battery tweaker. You will have to give it the ADB shell permission, and only then it will be able to work. So you may simply open a new CMD window inside platform tools, copy paste this command, and then it will get the required permission, and then you may use the app. Apart from that, this is the QS styles. You may add or remove options from here. Then let's have a look at the settings menu. So for instance, let's go to the advanced feature, and the labs will have a few experimental tweaks. The multi-window for all apps, it will force enable multi-window for all the apps even if they don't support. Then you may enable the full screen for the apps even in the split screen view. Likewise, you may enable swipe for pop-up view and swipe for the split screen mode as well. Then with the side key, you may assign a different option in the side key. I always want the power menu because the side key is a power menu and we should always have the power menu. As according to my notion, I usually never use Bixby and I don't want any assistant to have as a side key because that is a dedicated power button and it should always have the power menu in my regard. Apart from that, you may also use the double press to open a camera or any other app of your choice. So for example, you may use the, let's say, gallery app, and when you double press it, you could see the gallery app has been opened. Then apart from that, you may also have the option to add a few gestures. Lift to wake, whenever you lift the phone, it will wake up, the display should wake up. Anyways, this is the AOD as well, and you could see. Then you may enable double tap to turn on the screen and double tap to turn it off as well. So double tap to turn it on and double tap to turn it off. This is quite a handy feature. Then apart from that, you may also enable the keep screen on while viewing. So as soon till you are having a look at the screen display will not turn off. You could keep it enabled. That is quite a handy feature for me. And however, do keep in mind that all these features such as the palm swipe to capture, you may swipe the edge of your hand across the screen to take a screenshot. So do keep in mind that all of these features will lead to additional battery drainage. So if this trade-off is well and good for you, only then enable these features. Then apart from that, there are a few screenshot tweaks as well. So once you have taken the screenshot, you may remove it from the toolbar option, hide the status of the screenshot that the screenshot has been taken. You may hide it from the navigation bar as well, and you can also save the original screenshot. So if you have taken the screenshot and make any changes, then you may save the original one as well as the newly modified one. That may lead to additional storage space, so choice is all yours. You may choose JPG and PNG. The PNG has a much better quality, but it will be in it will take higher storage space. Likewise, you may change the sound quality and video quality as well with regard to the video recording. And in Dual Messenger, you may add a secondary app such as you may have 2 instances of WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger and so on. And you may change the display. There are a few display tweaks as well that you could tweak from here. And then there are a few themes and wallpaper style. You may go to online theme store and then get hold of the required themes. And regarding the home screen tweaks, we will do that from the home screen itself. So long press on the home screen and first off go to the wallpaper and style and go to change wallpaper, and these are the featured wallpaper. Let's have a look at them. So let me implement this wallpaper. This looks quite nice. You may have a separate wallpaper for the home screen and the lock screen as well. So if you want a different one, so uncheck, let's have this for the lock screen. So uncheck in the home screen and tap on next. And simply if you want to add contact information or change the time, you may do so. Let's add a different time over here. So as you could see, the styles are being changed. Let's go with this one, the classic clock, and you may as well change the color of the clock style as well. Once that is done, simply tap on done. Likewise, again select a clock theme style, and this one will be for the home screen. So let's go with a quirky one. Let's say this one, and this is for the home screen. Tap on next. No, this is very much colorful and quite vibrant. Let's go with a little bit less vibrant. Yeah, this should get the job done, and tap on done. So with this we have changed the wallpaper. Then apart from that, you may also apply a different colors as well to the, choose a solid background color. Then next up we have the color palette, or as you might be aware, the Material You theming engine. So whatever, it will implement the entire same color across the entire UI and UX depending on the color which is the dominant one in the wallpaper. So this is the pink one, grayish one, reddish one and the bluish one. Apart from that, you also have quite a lot of other options to choose from. So you may choose from any one of these themes and implement them, or you could even choose the basic colors. So for example, if we select the first color, just tap on apply, and as you could see, the changes are being applied across the notification drawer, QS tiles, app, phone drawer, calculator, and across all the apps. And then next up, apart from that, you may also customize a few other tweaks, such as you may add the home screen widgets over here. Finally, you may change the settings of the home screen and the app drawer. So the home screen layout, you may either choose the home and app screen or simply the home screen only. So if you choose only the home screen, then you have to swipe left and right to access all your apps. There is no app drawer now. If you swipe up, then it will open the search bar. This is similar to the Xiaomi UI that you are getting since ages. And you may change the number of apps that you want in the home screen and the app screen layout. As you could see, it goes till 5x5 and 5x6 as well. Then you may show the app badges, which is the notification count, and that's just about it. And there are other tweaks in the settings menu of the phone as well. You may have a look at them, and as you could see, this is the latest Turbo UI ROM. As of now, it's Turbo UI version 10. The version 11 is currently in the development. As and when it's live, I'll make a separate video on the same as well. Hopefully it will be Android 14 based. Until and unless that happens, this is our best build that we have at our disposal. So guys, on that note, I round off this video. If you have any queries with regard to any of the steps, do let me know in the comment section, and thanks a lot for watching.